Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Catherine.
We've talked a lot about national parks in the United States, and we've visited several spots in the Rocky Mountains. But today we're headed to Alberta, Canada to explore a couple of national parks in the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah, we're going to look today at Banff and Jasper, which are two of the Canadian Rocky Mountain parks that form a UNESCO heritage site. And they're on this list because of their gorgeous mountain peaks, the glaciers, the lakes, the waterfalls, the canyons, and the limestone caves. Our first stop is Banff National Park.
Banff is about an hour and a half drive from Calgary in Alberta. And it was actually the very first national park designated in Canada, and believe it or not, the third national park in the world.
Wow.
It was discovered in 1883 when 3 Canadian Pacific Railway workers found this cave that had a hot springs. And it was on the eastern slope of, like we said, Alberta's Rocky Mountains.
Makes sense. And you know, the name itself comes from Banffshire, which is this county in Scotland. And apparently 2 of those founding directors of the railway you were referring to were from that area in Scotland.
So they just had to name it from their hometown.
Might as well.
That's right.
You know, especially considering the size. I'd want something impressive after my hometown.
That's right.
Yeah, this park covers 2,500 square miles, and there's so much to do there. You've got hiking, mountain biking, fishing, skiing. And today we're going to tell you about the few of the spots that you really shouldn't miss. First one starting with Lake Louise.
Yeah, I mean, Lake Louise is just gorgeous. It's a glacial lake, so the water is just pristine and green, blue. There are also tons of great hiking trails, and you've got these incredible views of the lake and the glaciers. And there's a great trail called the Plain of 6 Glaciers. The Plain of 6 Glaciers trail is really known as one of the most scenic hikes in the Canadian Rockies. So if you're into hiking, you probably want to check this one out.
Yeah, and another place that you'd really want to visit is the Banff Upper Hot Springs, which are these original springs by those railway workers we were referring to earlier. And they are one of Banff's most famous spots. There's got this natural mineral water that's always warm, between 98 and 104 degrees.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I could soak in that right now.
Yeah, and especially after you've done all that hiking and biking, skiing, sitting in those lovely springs would just feel really good. And they have a spa right there as well if you want extra treatment, so you're set.
You could spend the whole day there. Forget skiing.
Exactly.
Just go right there.
I know.
Yeah, and the last place we're going to talk about is the Icefields Parkway, and this is definitely a must-see, and it actually connects the Banff National Park to Jasper National Park. And the Icefield Parkway is about a 144-mile drive between the two, and it just goes right through the heart of the Canadian Rockies. And you're just going to see everything from mountain lakes to the glaciers. You might spot some wildlife. So it's just an incredibly beautiful drive. I mean,
yeah, when you see those pictures, they're just so amazing.
I know. After we've done all this research, I mean, I think one of the first things I said to you is, I want to go here.
Yeah, that's
really
right.
Stunning.
Yeah, and along the way, you can make many stops for hiking, photos, picnics before you actually get to Jasper National Park. And this park is one of Canada's oldest and largest parks. And again, it's a hiker's paradise.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost 700 miles of hiking trails here. And the conditions of each trail is updated daily online, which I thought was really cool. So
yeah, that helps.
You don't really have to worry about running into any problems as long as you're, able to access a computer. And one of the things that we found awesome are the trails near what's called the Columbia Icefield. One trail we thought was really awesome is called the Toe of the Athabasca Glacier, and it's only about a 20-minute hike, and you get right up to the glacier. I mean, you can literally get close enough to put your hand on it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the trailhead is just across from the Icefield Center building, which is right off Icefield Parkway. So it's very convenient, very easy. And, you can't get much closer to the glacier than that.
You can get right up to the glacier.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a longer hike, say about 4 or 6 hours, you might want to check out the Wilcox Pass Trail. The first section is a little steep, but it will get easier as you go along. And you can look for the side trip across the tundra to the west for a spot with amazing views of the mountains.
And as we mentioned earlier, there's tons of wildlife in Jasper National Park and along the Icefield. So while you're driving, hiking, whatever, keep an eye out for elk, bison, bighorn sheep, moose,
goats.
Yeah, and even grizzly bears. So
my favorite.
Who knows what you might run into.
Well, that wraps up our short tour of Banff and Jasper National Parks. We'll have more on this on our blog. And of course, you can always send us an email or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll have all those addresses at the end of the podcast.
And we'll see you next time on The Coolest Stuff on the Planet.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit HowStuffWorks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.